When you put your hand in my jacket, I'm thinking so irrational. You flew me international now. And we can spend hours reading the signals, but that's so unoriginal. What if we took this back to my house? Under all these lights, I gotta take a minute to calm down. But I feel like if I told you I was ready right this minute, do you think that it would turn you on? I just feel like you need to know. If I told you I was ready right this minute, would you just run off and tell someone? I just feel like you need to know. I don't wanna feel like we're wasting time. Tell me, should I go and call up a taxi? We can make out for play in the backseat. Please tell me now how that all sounds. You can sleep in while I make breakfast, watch cartoons and talk about exes. And if you're happy, stick around. I just feel like this is worth the risk. I never felt a fire like this. If I told you I was ready right this minute, do you think that it would turn you on? I just feel like you need to know. If I told you I was ready right this minute, would you just run off and tell someone? I just feel like you need to know. Right here, right now, we're running out of things to talk about. Right here, right now, I'm about to let the truth come out. If I told you I was ready right this minute, do you think that it would turn you on? You tell me now. If I told you I was ready right this minute, would you just run off and tell someone? Keep my feet on the ground. If I told you I was ready right this minute, I just wanna go and lay you down. I just feel like you need to. It's clear. If I told you I was ready right this minute, would you just run off and tell someone?
And we're live. Welcome to the online premiere of Four Way. I'm Joe McGettigan and I'm your host today. I'm honored to be working with 5 Star Pictures once again. The last time we worked together was 9 years ago after we completed Hercules, the Brave and the Bold. I'm happy to be reunited with David and his team for this exciting project. We have a couple of members from the cast joining us today, Matthew Best and Mara Love. We also have Shanina Nichols and Luis Perez joining us via Zoom. Don't forget we'll be having a Q&A directly after the screening of the film. You can send in questions using hashtag 4Way Short Film, or you can ask us by commenting below or using the live chat function. We're looking forward to answering your questions. Before we get into the film, we would like to thank City Studio STL for hosting us today. If you would like to book this space, please visit citystudiostl.com. A big thank you to lensrentals.com and Bad Dog Pictures. Now without further ado, sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, and enjoy Four Way.
¿Te sientes bien hoy día?
Sí, estoy tratando algo diferente. Just mix it up a little bit, right?
Wow. No, personalmente, I prefer my tongue.
Ok, pero el plátano es más saludable que tu donut.
Yeah, well, debatable.
No,
That's
no,
very-
it is
that's
not.
very debatable.
It is not debatable.
It is.
No, it's not. Everyone in the world loves donuts. Who does not love
Oh,
donuts?
no. My sister.
Tu hermana.
She doesn't like.
Since when?
Was a kid.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's not calling my family crazy.
Yes, I am calling your family crazy.
Violence broke out last night at UVA as a group of white nationalists marched through the campus chanting, "You will not replace us." Hold on, we're getting reports that a Unite the Right rally is currently taking place in Charlottesville. In due time, we'll be going to war with North Korea, after the comments made by Trump saying North Korea will face fire and fury like the world has never seen. President Trump was...
He is unbelievable.
What's wrong?
I'm worried about you, and I want to make sure you're safe. This world is a dangerous place.
Everything will be fine. You know who to contact if you need to reach me. Okay?
Okay. I love you, all right?
I love you too. I'll call you later, okay?
All right. Bye.
Just stop.
Move it!
Chris,
You
stop.
don't move!
Okay, shit, back
Too late! Go
No, Chris,
back
just
up!
back up. No, Chris,
Go
just
back up!
Chris, just back up. Just
I
back
will!
up.
What are you doing? Move!
What are you doing? Do not get out of
Just
this
stay
car.
there, just
No,
stay there.
Chris, do not. Chris, do not
Stay
get
there.
out and get back in your car.
What the hell are you doing?
What are you doing?
Come
Come
on,
on,
get
come
out!
on.
Drive! Drive!
All you beaners coming to this country ruining for the rest of us? Beaners!
What do you call us?
Beaners!
Say it again! Say it again!
Sir! Police!
Oh, now the bitch wants to get involved?
I'm a police officer. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Put down your weapon.
Don't do anything stupid. The moment you take his life, you're taking yours too.
Your guy's not gonna ruin this country!
No! No, Chris! Chris! No, Chris! What are you, crazy?
Hey, are you okay? Does she need help? What? You're gonna be okay. Just put her in the passenger seat. Come on, we need to get you to the hospital. Let's go.
Man, he's been shot in the phone. Stop. I need you to come immediately. I have someone on the way. He's been shot in the right shoulder of the platform. I don't know. Just send him now.
After the Charlottesville attack, Christopher Gonzalez was gunned down in an attack some are calling a hate crime. A man wearing a Make America Great Again hat was seen leaving the area. Mr. Gonzalez was an immigration rights activist who started his efforts after migrating to the U.S. in 2004. He is survived by his wife and their unborn child. At this time, we will be taking a moment of silence.
Wow, that was a powerful picture. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. We want to give everybody a few minutes to keep submitting your questions by either using hashtag 4-Way Short Film or by commenting below or using the live chat. Now, before we get started, I would like to introduce our special guests coming all the way from Brazil via Zoom. This is Luis Perez, and as questions are coming in, I want to ask all of you, what are your thoughts on the film?
It was really good. I was blown away.
Yeah, very emotional, a lot going on there.
Mm-hmm. Was this the first time you guys have seen the completed project?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. What are your thoughts?
I see a lot of the hard work that we all put into it. In all honesty, it came out way better than I even anticipated or believed. The emotion in it, like I had to kind of like just take a moment because I thought I was gonna start crying. Mm-hmm. But it was really good to me.
Mm-hmm. Matthew, do you think this compares to what we're dealing with in our country?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of things going on that luckily everyone having a mobile phone is making it more aware for everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Mara, in 5 to 10 years, do you think that this film will still be relevant?
I hope not, in the sense of maybe of something of the past that we had to deal with, but as far as like something that like us as people or our generations to come, I hope not, no. I hope it's something that they'll be able to say that they learned from the mistakes that they saw that we made or that our forefathers made, and they figured out a way to live better and in harmony.
Matthew, what do you think? 10 years down the road, do you think people are still going to be watching Four-Way?
Well, I hope they're still watching it.
Yeah.
I hope things have changed a lot since then, but I feel like we're finally at a starting point for where it all can start to take off.
Matthew, what attracted you to this project?
Well, working with David before, I mean, he's always gotten good stuff, good messages to get across, and the part I played was rather a challenge for me, so that brought me to it.
Very good, very good. Mara, how about you? What did you like about the project?
I liked that it was real life, it was realistic. Things that either people have experienced themselves, but also for people who have not experienced it, they can put themselves in the shoes and see like, you know, why this was something important to create.
Mara, what was the filming experience like for you?
I was nervous initially. I didn't even think I was gonna get the part at first. And then when I found out I did, and to know that I was working with some people that had been acting for years, like either majored in it or had been taking acting class for a long time, it kind of made me feel good to know that like I could even be in the same room or on the set with them. But it was very interesting, and I had a blast. I really appreciate all my co-stars. Everybody was supportive of each other, and we had a good time. Even though we were there to work, I think we laughed a lot.
That's good. Yeah. When something this heavy, to have a light atmosphere, light culture with the people you're working with really helps out. Matthew, what was the filming experience like for you?
Hot and sweaty. That little scene where me and Luis are, wrestling around. We had to do a couple takes for it. So it was a hot day. It was on blacktop, so it got a little warm. But it was overall a lot of fun.
Very nice. Matthew, for you, what were some of your takeaways from this project?
Takeaways? Great experience, good message to get across. Had a good time. I mean, I just hope everyone enjoys it as much as we do. Yeah.
Mara, how about you? What were some of your takeaways?
One takeaway I think that I experienced is that you have to kind of like be patient with yourself and others, because one split second, everything could go wrong. And it doesn't just change like your life, the character's life that you played, you know what I mean? But the people around you, and it could have a permanent impact. So we have to just learn to sometimes be a little bit more patient and compassionate and try to understand that maybe somebody's going through something too, even though you may not fully understand what it is.
Matthew, were there any life experiences you brought in to your character?
No, it was a really hard challenge because this person is rather upset, pretty racist, on the edge of blowing up and shooting someone. So I'm a happy-go-lucky person, so it was just a challenge for me.
Yeah, that's what makes the craft so exciting, right?
Right.
Mara, how about you? Anything that you pulled from for your character?
Well, I mean, I believe I'm a very strong and resilient type of person, so I feel that I displayed that to like come out of your car and approach a situation that's already ready to blow up, and to still, no matter the outcome, walk away or be proud of yourself, be yourself. So yeah, I feel that I just had to be strong, and that's what I kind of portrayed through my character.
Very nice, very nice. Thanks, you guys. Matthew, I'm coming back to you. What was the hardest part of this project for you to film?
Besides getting into the character, the hardest thing was calling Luis the derogatory name. I did, because we had to take multiple sets or multiple scenes of it, so just have to do it over and over and over, and I just wasn't comfortable doing it, and I just wanted to make sure everybody on set knew, like, hey, this is not me, I have to say it, so that was the hardest thing.
You got to have that disclaimer. I am not like this person.
I don't like saying this, but I need to say it, so there we are.
Yeah. Mara, for you, what was the hardest, either physically or emotionally, for this project for you?
I think physically to do some of the parts, you don't actually see it, but when I get shot, I have to fall backwards. And that was like intense to try to make it look like as realistic as possible and still kind of land where, no matter where the angle of the camera was, it looked realistic. So I think that was the hardest part. And then the heat, because it was like super hot. And I had to wear my hair straight. I have very curly hair, so I had to like blow it out. And remember after each scene that I would do, I would like hurry up and run and be like, I have to put my hair back up. Because I was trying to preserve it and keep it as straight as possible so that, it looked good for the film. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this looked also very nice on you too. So yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So we have some people on Zoom. David, are we still good to reach out to them?
Yes, most definitely. Please do.
Well, we'll start with Nina. Nina, can you hear us okay? We're working out some of our technical difficulties.
Definitely.
We know what we're doing. It's the technology that doesn't know what they're doing.
All right, you should be good to.
Nina and Luis, we see you on film there on the monitor. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. We see you on film there on the monitor. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. So Nina, these questions are for you. It was great to see you on film and you and Luis there. Describe to me, what was that chemistry like with you two? So Nina, these questions are for you.
He brings the best of the craft and being so professional and also adding in humor. So I enjoy working with Luis. I think we have great chemistry and it was amazing to work with Luis.
And also we shared a couple of classes, acting classes together as well. So we know each other very well. Oh man, that was fun.
It was good.
Looking forward to do it again.
Except we'd have to raise you from the dead if we did it again.
Yes.
Yes.
The mute signal's up.
They're talking.
Except we'd have to raise you from the dead if we did it again. Yes.
So, Nina, regarding, we saw that you had a baby bump in the set. What was that like? Was that pretty heavy?
It was such a warm day. So, there were issues with, keeping the hair the same for continuous, just so it's continuous throughout the movie. But the baby belly was actually a weight carry, and it was hot. It was hot. But it was as realistic as it could be, which was also very strange at the same time. So, there were issues with, keeping the hair the same for continuous, just so it's continuous throughout the movie. But the baby belly was actually a weight carry, and it was hot. It was hot. But it was as realistic as it could be, which was also very strange at the same time. So, there were issues with.
So some of the questions we still have also for Luis. Luis, always stepping into a role like you did. What was your chemistry like with Nina?
Oh, like I said before, the chemistry with Nina was perfect. We know each other for a long time. We goofy around as well. It's a nice experience. My God, I still remember the making fun of her pregnancy on social media. I remember posting a picture of that, and a lot of my friends actually thought that I was having a baby. It took me like a couple of days to tell everybody that stop all the congratulations. This is not real. This is just a movie magic. Next time I'm gonna be more careful doing that. But yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of fun working with Nina, with all my castmates as well. My God.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Luis, as a Latino male living in today's America, what correlation do you see with this project and your life as a person of color?
Well, it's like any other person who wants to have a decent life, but we have to face a little some unknown barriers that not everybody knows, and I, as a person, as a colored person, I have to deal with those every day. I like the character I played because my character is having a new family. But also, what I like about my character is that he cannot control his emotions very well. So he should know which battles to fight. My character is and he's not emotionally smart now. So he knows that he has a family, a future family, and he still wants to know something beyond that he should do. And as we can see, it costs his life for that. So those are the struggles that sometimes people like us is we try to control ourselves most of the time, and we hope that we are smart enough to not let our emotions control us. That's what I like about my character. That's why I like to play that.
Also ask Nina questions as well. Like go back to the main set of questions.
Nina, similar question with you. You know, playing into a person of color. How did you feel about playing this role?
You know, I think it was very emotional for me because of the fact, like Luis said, we were just starting a young family, and there were some pieces of the dialogue that I don't think made it into the movie, but there was a scene where Luis and I are actually talking about, is this the right time to bring a child into the world? And why have we chosen to do this at this moment? And what does life going forward look like for, at that time, our unborn child? And so there's a lot of emotion that I have personally been very fortunate that I have not had that experience. I have 3 kids, they're grown, but being in that position and knowing that this is a position that lots of people are in on a daily basis, you know, is just so emotional and scary. And so, you know, it was a very heavy part to play. And I'm not really sure I've answered your question because I'm, you know, getting emotional again, but it was a tough role to play, knowing that this is reality for so many people in this country.
Yeah, thank you very much. No, it certainly is this. And I think, you know, when you see the project done in black and white, it makes it that much more, powerful.
Yeah.
Question for Nina and Luis. How did you feel being able to have your native tongue included in the project?
Can you repeat that question one more time for us?
How did you enjoy being able to speak Spanish to one another?
Well, for me, that was a lot of fun. It was also just fun to sort of be able to have that dialogue and sort of banter back and forth about something as, in the grand scheme of the short film, something as insignificant as whether people prefer donuts or bananas. And it was fun. I enjoyed speaking that. I enjoyed speaking Spanish to Luis, even though obviously Luis is totally fluent and I'm mostly fluent. We have not interacted with each other in Spanish. Luis, I don't think we've done a scene in Spanish before this.
No, not even in class.
Yeah. So
I remember.
yeah, so it was great. I enjoyed it.
That's wonderful. Luis, how about you? How did you feel being able to speak Spanish in the film?
Oh, feeling myself again. I mean, the United States, I mostly speaking English, and it became almost a dominated language for me in the past 8 years. But now having the opportunity to speak Spanish again is like another persona taking control. And it is liberating. It's like, oh, finally I can be myself now instead of just, But yeah.
It's funny that you had to act a part to actually speak in Spanish, which is what your native tongue is.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like I've been in America for too long. Let's call it that way. That my brain is just switched. It's like, okay, it's English now. Everything's English. And when I finally get the opportunity to speak Spanish, it's like, oh, I have another person in me. It's like, yes, let's play with it.
Very nice. Thanks, you guys. Going back to Matthew here in the studio, was there anything difficult for you to play with your part? 1 second here, we're dealing with some technical difficulties. There we go. Was there anything difficult for you to do while we were filming?
Difficult. I mean, never really done a fighting scene before, so that was a first. Once again, the slur how to use towards Luis was difficult for me just because I don't like throwing slurs around. No one really does, but yeah, those two things and the heat, once again, because I sweat so easily out there.
So similar to where we asked the question for Nina and for Luis, both for you, being a people of white color, African American, white color, how did you guys feel portraying the characters that you guys had in there?
I mean, I enjoyed playing the character that I did, and even bringing to light the topic. For me, I grew up multiracial, and I grew up in both sides of my household. My mom is white and my father is black, but I grew up on both sides, and I've dealt where people don't always accept me. When I tell them I'm mixed or I'm multiracial, they say, no, you're not. You're white, or no, you're not. And it was challenging growing up. And I hate it for my children because my son, he goes to school and kids see him and they see me and they're like, that's not your mom. And I mean, he knows that I am, so it doesn't bother him, but it does bother him because he's like, why are you questioning who my mom is, So it was nice to actually bring a topic like this to light so people can see it, but it was emotional, it was challenging to not want it to come out the way you wanted it to come out, and to be around in that moment, like seeing Matt like that, it was weird because I didn't see him like that on set. He was very like playful, goofy. That's his character. I mean, that's his characteristics and personality. But then seeing him take on the role, it was kind of like I had to tell myself that's not him, and I reminded myself of that every time.
Was it hard, Matt? Again, being a white man in this America, and seeing this film, what kind of perspective?
I mean, it's very eye-opening, especially with a lot of recent things coming out. Because I mean, when we did this, it was what, 3 years ago, and a lot more stuff that keeps coming out every day, and it's just more eye-opening to me because I don't experience stuff like that. I'm a happy-go-lucky person, so I'm not a person like that. So it's just very eye-opening for me.
That's great. I really appreciate it, you guys. One of the things is David had mentioned that I'd helped him with this before. Matthew, what'd you think about working with David?
David's a blast. Every time I work with him, we just joke around. I mean, when time comes, yes, we're serious, but behind it, I think I can get Dave to laugh a little bit here and there, maybe at least a smile. So,
yeah.
It's fun.
Going back here to Nina and Luis. Nina, how did you like working with David?
No, I really enjoy working with David. There were so many times on set where I would say, well, how do you want me to deliver this? Or how do you want me to portray the scene? And he would say, well, you know what do you think, how do you feel about it? And what would you do? What does your instinct tell you? And there was so much freedom as an actor to work with David that I really enjoyed that. He's also just very thoughtful and a great director to work with. I enjoyed working with David. Always.
Yeah.
And also he's very organized. He's very organized. Every time and every hour you know what's coming, and at least that gives you time to prepare. And preparation. I think that's the key thing.
Yeah, thank you guys. Mara, how about you? What were your takeaways from working with David?
I kind of felt spoiled because it was my first real project, and to see how he asked us how we were doing, how did we feel about it? Like they mentioned, he kind of gave us a little bit of leeway too with the character. You could try things in different ways. I like the structure and organization that he had. We had a call sheet. We knew in advance what scenes we were doing, what time we needed to be there. I wish a lot of people would take that type of characteristics that he possessed, but I really enjoyed it. It was great, and every time I see him or do anything with him, I always tell him, when are you going to give me another project?
So I'm going to just interrupt for a quick moment because we have 2 questions from YouTube.
Please.
One question comes from Diana saying, what was the most challenging part for the actors to get in their role? So this is posed to all 4 of you. Let's start off with with Luis and Nina first, and then Matt and Mara. Give us your thoughts.
Go ahead, Luis.
Well, for me, it's to have the idea of having a family. I mean, I'm not a married person, and having a baby is something way beyond what I would expect. So to me, the most challenging was getting the idea of having a family, a new family, a new human being, and you being responsible for that. And that cost me a lot. It's like a lot of research and a lot of concentration, personally.
For me, I would say it was having to watch my said husband, Luis, or Chris, die over and over again, because you do so many takes and every take has to be your raw emotion, and that was really hard to build yourself up to watching your husband die over and over again and having it appear that it's the first time you've ever seen it. That took a lot out of me emotionally. By the end of that scene, I was completely drained and exhausted. And emotionally, it was really hard. And I had to go back and tell myself, Luis is fine. He's going to change his shirt. It's not going to have blood. Like, he's fine. He's going to get up. He's going to walk away. And I had to remind myself that he's very much alive and well. But that was really hard to witness that over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mary, how about you?
I was gonna make him go first.
Ladies first. Ladies first. Ladies first.
Okay. I would say understanding what the characters brung to the actual film in itself. that's my character, meaning like what essential role did I play? I had to kind of take the time and kind of pull the script back and read it multiple times to really understand and see that, and understand, to take that lens away from the perspective of what police are given in today's society, how there are still police out here that want to do the right thing and they want to protect and they want to serve, and remembering to show that part. So that's the most challenging thing for me, I think.
Matthew, how about you?
For me, it was just becoming someone that angry, that racist, that just violent person. I mean, like I said before, I'm happy-go-lucky. I just all about fun times and whatnot. So someone that was so serious and just negative, very hard to get into.
Yeah, that's really it's amazing. That's why not everybody can be an actor. You got to get into the parts.
Right.
So, did we have any other questions online?
We do have another, but it's more posed towards me.
Sure.
So the question asks if we have any projects upcoming. This is from Creative Actors Studio, so Luis and Nina, you know them very well. They said this was a emotional and powerful film, everyone. How long has the crew worked together, and are you working on anything new? I guess I should step out.
Here comes the bus.
There we go, yeah.
I'll squeeze in here.
The director, ladies and gentlemen, David Malone.
So, thank you. So kind of to answer Creative Actors, the crew for this particular project, we kind of just assembled over the course of a couple weeks from people that I knew that I had previously worked with, and some that were new at the time. Usually most projects that we do, there are some members of the crew that are the same. I know both of you have worked on a few different projects and you've seen some of the same people, even today. Then sometimes I may pull in some new blood, you never know. But the next question asking, are we working on anything new? That's always such a hard question because we're always working on something new. So currently we have some scripts that we are working on that we are just trying to clean up to maybe hopefully shoot in the next couple months. We will see what happens there. We are doing the 48-hour film project this week.
Awesome.
And Matt will be part of our cast on that. So we are looking forward to staying up together for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Always a fun time.
Oh, it's great. If you haven't done the 48-hour film project, highly recommend it. It definitely, as a filmmaker, it pushes you to that creative edge because you have to think outside of this box of, okay, I have to make a film from start to finish in 2 days. How can I make a cohesive story that makes sense? I still have to edit it. Like, you have to go through the full range. It's not let me just do the filming and that's it. No, you're doing from start to finish. The first year we did it, we did not get the film turned in on time. Second year, got turned in early. So hopefully this year we can do the same. COVID changed the 48-hour the past 2 years where it was at home. Did that with my family. Never again. Never again. Love my family, I don't recommend shooting a movie with family members.
So since we have you here on the director's couch, David,
I
you know,
wouldn't say that, but
why did you decide to shoot this in black and white?
We decided to go black and white because, as you guys saw while watching the film, this takes place the same day and at the same time as the Charlottesville attack. And it goes into what Matt was saying earlier about dealing with and Mara. We as a production company deal with stories and subject matters that some people want to shy away from, that doesn't get a lot of light. And back in 2018 when we shot this project, actually let's go a little bit further back. This project would not have been made possible without Kelsey Ryan. She had a shower idea. Pretty much, if you don't know what a shower idea is, like any, it's pretty much in the name.
In the shower.
She was in the shower, had an idea of like, what would happen if like 4 people came up to a 4-way stop, no one can make a decision, then one guy gets out, gets into an argument, shoots that guy, like what happens? Because when people come to a 4-way stop, no one knows what to do. It's like, wait, do you go? Wait, do I go? Who got here first? Who got here second? Who got here third? And it's pretty much just a cluster. So for me, in the political environment that we were in that moment, it was, okay, how do we take this idea that she had and elevate it? Because, yeah, 4-way stop, someone getting shot at a 4-way stop, that's like, it's messed up, but it's intriguing. How can we pull more people in? Because will this film be divisive towards some? Most definitely. It's a creative outlet. No art, not everyone likes one piece of work. Some people hate work. It's like, look at Da Vinci. It's like, a lot of people like his work, but then some people also hate it. So it's very subjective. So going to this film and shooting it in black and white to drain all the life out of it, because in that time, that's what we were feeling, or a lot of people, especially underrepresented communities, especially people of color, were feeling very saddened in that moment, because it's like, all right, we have 4 years of this, we have 2 more, shit is hitting the fan. What do we do here? So the black and white to provoke that thought of loneliness. There's nothing here, but also taking you back in time. Now, we're not going back to like the 60s or the 50s, but to just take you back into that, okay, August 12th, 2017, this is what's going on. Because who knows what else happened at that time, on that day. Many things could have happened. This is one of those things that happened, but because Charlottesville was such a major thing, everything else gets overshadowed. So it is, you have to look at it from this aspect of when anything happens. Think about it when a black person gets shot on the news, but then if something else happens that major from the first person getting shot, anything else is minimal. You don't see anything, you don't hear anything until weeks later, and you're like, wait, this happened 2 weeks ago? I didn't hear about it. So it's those things where, delving way too deep into your question, black and white, it goes into that race relations as well, because that's what we were feeling at the time. It was this people of color, not just black people, but persons of color, kind of going into the Latino family as well, and white people as well. And Nina brought this up earlier, saying that there was a part in the script that wasn't shot, or we wrote, before we changed it, we had a scene where it was supposed to be the Latino family. Latino family changed over the course of the script. They were sitting in front of the TV watching the election, the 2016 election when it first happened. So originally that was when the script was supposed to take place. And then it evolved. And in editing, it was, okay, I want this to focus more. Because we knew what was happening, but I wanted it to directly correlate and reflect and impact what was happening.
That's great. I mean, it's, there's always underlying meanings that directors have when they're displaying their craft and their art. So it's great that you were able to bring up those feelings and everybody that has seen the project and participating in it. So were there any major changes or setbacks during filming?
Oh my Lord, yes. Oh gosh.
What was the biggest one?
We had to rewrite the ending on location while we were shooting. So the ending, how it was supposed to happen, there was supposed to be a ambulance that came in. There was supposed to be caution tape. There was supposed to be a lot more with that ending. And the day of, the contact we had for an ambulance wasn't able to secure one. And we didn't know until we were in the midst of filming. And we were in Orchard Farm, and we literally went into this one building. I pulled in the cast, and I'm like, okay, need a new ending. What are we going to do here?
Wow.
And it was a team effort. We were in 90-degree heat.
Yeah,
it was so hot.
Matthew was on his 6th t-shirt.
Yeah, we have some BTS photos where you can literally just see the circular teardrop of sweat on your shirt.
Yeah.
It was warm. It was really warm.
But
but you pulled it through.
We did.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it myself. Without Mara, Nina, Luis, Matt, and Ray, who unfortunately can't be with us today, we all came up with it together because every film, every project, for me at least, is a group effort.
Yeah.
And that's why I involve my crew, I involve my cast, where I'm open. It's like, if you have an idea for a shot, lay it on me. It's like, not every idea has to come from me. Not is it, and I go back to when we were filming Hercules. I don't know if you were probably there.
Probably.
We were filming out in the middle of some park, and it was with Lawson and another actress, 2 kids. And we were on take 12, and I was just not getting anything from these kids. And Nick Marquardt was standing behind me, and I could tell he wanted to say something. And I'm like, just say it. And he's like, no. We kept going, still not getting anything. I could tell he wanted to say something, so I'm like, just say it. No, I don't want to step on your toe. Will it help them? I think so. Go say it. Whatever he said, I don't know what it was, but it got enough out of him. And my producer talked to him later, and he said, I've worked with directors before where it's like, they don't want you to say anything.
Yeah.
They don't want, you are the actor, you stay in that position, that's it. I get that. But for me, filmmaking is a collaboration. And if I'm not getting something out of Mara, maybe Matt can. So they have to play off of each other. But yeah, it's a collaboration. That was probably one of the hardest things. And then we had a cop pull up on us.
I remember that. It's like, everything okay? Like,
yeah, Luis was on the ground, covered in blood, and a cop rolled up on us, and I'm like, Luis, get up.
Yeah.
Like, get off the ground.
Wave, make sure you...
let them know you're okay.
Yeah, the cop rolled up and he's like, is everything okay? Now, of course, white cop, I'm the only black person outside of you and Desiree and my producer. And I was further away. I saw the cop car coming. And Luis just raised up enough, like literally just enough, and like waved. And
it was hilarious. That was
the
funny.
cop was like, do you have a permit? I'm like,
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go. It's like, okay. And just drives off. It's like, oh, thank God we have permits.
What was aside from being the police officer showing up, what was the hardest part during the editing process for this?
The four-way. That was not easy.
Picking up all the different our voices when we were talking.
No, oh my goodness, that was nuts. That was totally different. Just editing the video, the footage of the four-way, because we had so much, and I got the first part assembled up to the four-way, and I hit a roadblock. I'm like, I don't know how to edit this. Like, I don't see it being cohesive. Because the four-way isn't. Like, there's so much going on. You have Ray yelling nonsense. You have you cursing. You have you running out of the car pointing a gun. You have Luis and Nina yelling at each other. And I didn't know what to do, so I reached out to a friend of mine, and Austin. And I'm like, I need help. And I gave it to him, and he pretty much assembled the four-way.
Awesome.
And I'm like, I don't know how you did it. I don't know what you did. Let's clean it up some and keep moving.
It's that movie a little sprinkled movie magic, right?
Yes. But editing, what took the longest on this project was perfecting the composition. And I give it to our composer, Adam. He's worked with us on 3 projects, I think. Two Spirits, Four-Way, and September, yeah. I don't know how he does it. He blows us out of the water every single time. And we always sit down first and kind of discuss the project, kind of see where he's coming from. Then he wants to know where I'm coming from. He wants to know kind of the meaning behind the script. And then I'm like, off you go. You do you. And he'll put some things together, send it my way, and it's like, maybe, like, and he'll send me like test things as well from like other projects and say, okay, do you want more piano? Or I think for something like this, it needs to be more like country, because that's what this was. We were literally out of the middle of nowhere of St. Charles, of unincorporated St. Charles.
It went with the theme though, definitely. I think it did.
That was one of the questions I had, is I could hear the music playing throughout, the same music playing throughout everything. I was curious about how finding the meaning behind that, why you chose that.
Yeah, it went again with that like loneliness aspect, because all 4 characters, there's a loneliness with them. Because when you look at Nina's character, at the end, she's by herself. She doesn't have anyone. But from the audience's perspective, you can put enough together that maybe her and the nurse bonded. Because you could see in that final moment, like, they were cradling each other. It wasn't a, like, oh, I'm just holding you to comfort. Like, it was that embrace. So every character had this loneliness, and we wanted the music to represent that loneliness feeling. And Adam went for this country twang, and it worked. It fits so well from the start. And the beginning of what you guys see, it actually wasn't silent. We had all of this honking at the beginning.
I remember that.
Yeah, we had all of this honking, and we then decided, scrap it. It works better silent, and like this kind of this increst of the composition. It was the same at the very end when Tyler, the Samaritan, rolls up, where when you're on the ground, everything is just silent. Because it's that, like, what do we do? Like, what, you have a man bleeding, I'm trying to keep her from bleeding out. It's just silent.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice. How did you find the 4-way location?
No.
A lot of driving?
Google Maps and a lot of driving. We were going to film it in Maryland Heights. We shot some of the driving scenes there, but I think scheduling wise, it didn't work out. Because we technically were filming on 2 different, we had 3 days, a Saturday and a Sunday, and then the following week after. But yeah, Google Maps and a lot of driving through St. Charles.
Very nice. Do we have any other questions online that we want to make sure we're not missing?
Definitely see. That's everything so far. Do you guys have anything?
I just want to say thank you so much for letting me be a part of the project. And even right now, like the example, how much you praise us and our hard work and the cast and crew, but like we put our best foot forward because what you offer. So know that like you help pull that out of us. You make us want to work harder because we do see the appreciation that you put behind your craft, you know, what you want to put out there, and then the people that you work with. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. I appreciate that. And Nina actually sent us a message. She said, I don't always realize how much work goes into a short film. Do you have an estimate of how many hours went into this project between prep, shooting, editing, etc.? Oh God. Nina, you always ask the hardest questions. Well, as you can tell, we shot this project 4 years ago. So usually it doesn't take us that long to do a project, but there was a lot that went into this project. We not only had the composition, we also had special effects and throughout the entire 4-way. So I have to give it up to our VFX artist, Daryl. He killed it. That last drone shot, those 4 stop signs, if you guys remember, there were no signs there whatsoever.
Yeah.
There were none. So he added those, and it took forever. He swapped license plates. He added the gunfire. There was a lot. So with that, plus the composition and editing, it was a long time.
A true labor of love.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm excited that we can finally release this project. I know the entire cast is ecstatic.
Gotta watch it again.
Because they've been wanting this project for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice.
But yeah, I give it up to the actors because without them, this project would not have been able to have been made. But I'm gonna go back to my seat.
Yeah.
So
thank you, David.
You, David.
Yeah, we're here because of you.
Yeah. Well, again, today has been such an amazing experience, and I hope you all enjoyed yourselves as we watched Four-Way and talked with the cast. A big thank you again to City Studio STL for hosting us today, and thank you to our crew as well as Jesse O'Friel and Ryan Bomarito. Also, major thank you to our post-sound engineer, Paul Roach, and who put in tireless hours to make sure Four-Way sounded as amazing as it could. If you missed the short film, you can catch it now on all of our social media platforms. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one. At the end of every production, we have to say it. That's a wrap.
Good times.
Good job.
Yeah.
See? You didn't come off nervous at all.
You sure did. You twitched a lot less than I did. I'm over here twitching.
I kept looking off though. I was like,